I called my friend Bubba, a gastroenterologist, to make an appointment for a colonoscopy. He set me up for next week.
I bet you can't wait.
Bubba showed me color diagram of the cone, lengthy organ that appears to go all over the place at one point, passing briefly through Minneapolis.
I sure hope he has a good road map.
Bubba explained the colonoscopy procedure to me in a thorough, reassuring and patient manner. I nodded thoughtfully.
Well, I guess you need to know what he plans on doing.
I didn't really hear anything he said because my brain was shrieking. He's going to stick a tube 17,000 feet up my behind.
Yes. Best not to think about that.
I left Bubba's office with some written instructions and a prescription for a product called Movie Prep, which comes in a very large box.
A large box for a prescription.
I will discuss this movie prep in detail later. For now, suffice it to say that we must never allow it to fall into the hands of American enemies.
Really powerful stuff, huh?
I spent the next several days productively sitting around being nervous. Then on the day before my colonoscopy, I began my preparation.
Oh yes, the big box.
Following my instructions, I didn't eat any solid food that day. All I had was chicken broth, which is basically water only with less taste.
This sounds like it is getting serious with no food.
Then in the evening I took the movie prep. You mix 2 packets of powder together in a 1-liter plastic jug. Then you fill it with lukewarm water.
Warm water, well, kind of like a tea.
Anyone unfamiliar with the metric system, a liter is about 32 gallons. Then you have to drink the whole jug. This takes about an hour.
Wow, 32 gallon in an hour. Talk about feeling like a big ship.
Movie prep tastes like a mixture of goat spit and toilet cleanser with just a hint of lemon, and this is being kind to movie prep.
Well, I understand the lemon comparison. I sure don't understand the others.
Instructions for movie prep, clearly written by somebody with a great sense of humor, state that after you drink it, a loose watery bowel movement.
Definitely had to stay close to home.
This is kind of like saying that after you jump off your roof you may experience contact with the ground. Movie prep is like a nuclear laxative.
Nuclear, you say?
I don't want to be too graphic here, but have you ever seen a space shuttle launch? This is pretty much the movie prep experience, you as the shuttle.
I will have to go back and watch those old tapes of shuttle launches.
There were times when I wished the commode had a seat belt. I spent several hours pretty much confined to the bathroom being violently launched.
Those launch sequences are starting to come back to me now.
You eliminate everything, and then when you figure you must be totally empty, but you have to drink 1 more liter of movie prep.
Movie prep, I'm sure I will remember that name.
At this point I considered drinking on the commode. As far as I can tell, your bowels travel into the future and start eliminating future food.
Oh, you mean stuff that you haven't even eaten yet?
After an action-packed evening, I finally got to sleep. The next morning my wife drove me to the clinic. I was very, very nervous.
Action-packed? Well, not packed anymore.
I was thinking, what if I blast on Bubba? How do you apologize to a friend for something like that? Somehow flowers would not be enough.
Yes, you are right about that.
At the clinic I had to sign many forms acknowledging that I understood and totally agreed with whatever the heck the forms said.
Yes, they do that when you are not sure you can remember your own name.
Then they led me to a room full of other colonoscopy patients where I went inside a little curtain space and took off my clothes.
Did they give you anything to ease your nerves?
I put on one of those hospital garments designed by a sadist pervert. The ones when you put it on makes you feel more naked than you were before.
Yes, I only want other people to wear those things.
A nurse named Eddie put a needle in a vein in my left hand. Ordinarily I would have fainted, but Eddie was very good and I was already lying down.
Needles. Yuck, I'm not very good with them.
Eddie also told me that some people put vodka in their movie prep. At first I was ticked off that I hadn't thought of this myself.
Actually, they should have told you before you took that movie prep. I guess the pharmacy couldn't tell you about that.
Then I pondered what would have happened if I got myself too tipsy to make it to the bathroom, staggering around in full fire hose mode.
I'm sure your wife is glad you didn't try that.
When everything was ready, then Eddie wheeled me into the procedure room where Bubba was waiting with a nurse and an anesthesiologist.
I bet you were really getting nervous now.
I did not see the 17,000-foot tube, but I knew Bubba had it hidden around the someplace. I was seriously nervous at this point.
Wow. Nothing yet to calm you down.
Bubba had me roll over on my left side and the anesthesiologist began hooking up to the needle in my hand. There was music playing in the room.
Was anything good playing?
I realized that the song was Dancing Queen by ABBA. I remarked to Bubba that of all the songs that could be playing during this particular procedure,
Oh no, you're kidding.
Dancing Queen had to be the least appropriate. You want me to turn it up, said Bubba from somewhere behind me. I said, haha.
There is always a comedian around.
It was time, the moment I had been dreading for more than a decade. If you are squeamish, I will stop because I am going to tell you in explicit detail.
I think I will be okay.
Exactly what it was like, I have no idea really. I slept through it. One moment ABBA was yelling Dancing Queen, feel the beat of the tambourine.
I bet you didn't feel disappointed.
I felt even more excellent when Bubba told me that it was all over and that my colon had passed with flying colors.
That was definitely a bit of good news.
Now, on the subject of this procedure, it is no joke, but these comments during the exam were quite humorous. A physician claimed that the following are actual comments made by his patients, predominantly male, while he was performing their procedures. Take it easy, doc, you're boldly going where no man has gone before. You know, in Arkansas we're now legally married. Find Amelia Hook yet? Can you hear me now? Any sign of the trapped miners, chief? You put your left hand in, you take your left hand out.
Most people do have a sense of humor.
Hey. Now I know how a Muppet feels. If your hand doesn't fit, you must quit. Hey doc, let me know if you find my dignity. You used to be an executive at Enron, didn't you? God, now I know why I am not gay. Could you please write a note for my wife saying that my head is not up there?
The last one, I think, is the very best.